Let's talk about It, the movie that came out this year, that is. I know it's been a while since I've talked about a live-action movie on this channel, but I really wanted to talk about It because it's a horror movie that's really impressed me. I'm not too familiar with the original Stephen King novel, but I have seen the TV miniseries that came out back in 1990, and I saw it as a kid during one of those Stephen King marathons. And of course, with the original miniseries, everybody remembers Tim Curry as Pennywise, and he's hilarious, and he has a great performance. But the miniseries itself doesn't really hold up too well, and especially the second half with the adults, it's not very good. But this new 2017 movie focuses on the part with the children. It takes place in Derry, Maine, where these children are going missing throughout the town. And after one of the main characters' little brother Georgie goes missing, a bunch of other kids start to go missing. And we see a lot of the kids in the main cast starting to have these visions of these very scary things around them, sometimes very specific to what they fear the most. The group of kids is called the Losers Club, and we really get to see their characters fleshed out a lot, and I really do love the characters in this movie. There's actually one of the actors who plays Richie is from Stranger Things, and this movie does feel a lot like Stranger Things. Which makes sense, since Stranger Things did take a lot from different 80s films and horror-type things, like It, which came out in 1990. So it makes a lot of sense that this movie feels a lot like Stranger Things. And the setting takes place in the 80s rather than the 50s like the original novel and miniseries, I guess just so more people can relate to it now. And since this is an R-rated movie, we get to see a lot more gore and a lot more like cussing in the film. Which, if you're in high school, you know that there's going to be a lot of cussing around certain different groups of kids, and they throw around like the F word and like bitch and damn and hell, and also the other F word, which from personal experience, yes, that does happen in high school, especially in a time like the 80s. I would imagine that would happen a lot. But I really like the way that the scares play out in this film. I think I saw somebody put it as in, it's like a roller coaster ride. Like when you're going up that hill, you know that the scare is coming. You know the drop is coming. You don't know, like, exactly when it's going to happen, but you see it coming. You see it's coming, like, when it's about to, like, go over. That's what the scares are like in this movie, and it's a lot of fun. It's a very fun horror movie. I will say I'm usually not a fan of jump scares, and this does have a few jump scares in it. But just the way that they set up the jump scares, like a roller coaster, it's just a ton of fun. And I had a lot of fun in the audience, and people were laughing, and whenever like something would happen, and also when something hilarious would happen, because there's actually a lot of humor, and there's actually a lot of humor in this movie that really sets the mood of everything and like gives you a bit of levity in between the scares. As far as Pennywise goes, who's played by Bill Skarsgård in this iteration, he is great. I loved him, and he has this thing where he has a lazy eye, and he has it where his eyes can just drift apart, and he used that to his advantage in the film, and it makes it really creepy. I'm not sure if he'll have as many memorable moments as Tim Curry did, but there are definitely some moments that everybody's going to talk about after seeing this movie. There's actually this thing going around where you see Pennywise dancing and people putting different music to it, and it's hilarious. I did one of my own. I do really like that it focused mostly on the kids and not on the adults so much. They made the adults seem like these entities that you couldn't really talk to. Like every angle of the adults, of the kids talking to the adults, they're always like higher up on like some kind of pedestal. Like when the Jewish kid, you could see his father in the background. A lot of the other parents, they were like at higher places. Like the mom of Eddie was like in this big recliner. They seemed like they weren't, you know, at the same level as the kids were. And I thought that was very smart the way they angled them. And plus, another YouTube channel, Nick Spheres, brought this up, is that the movie seems to be a lot about abuse, and how there's different kinds of abuse that going on with these kids, and they all have like these different experiences that they're going through. And Pennywise uses that as part of their fear. So how scary was the film? It's pretty scary, though it's hard to say if it'll have any lasting effects on whether you're going to be scared of it or not. Like, after I first saw it, I was like, okay, I'm gonna leave the lights on. But like, a couple days afterwards, I was like, Whatever, unless I just go ahead and see it again, because I do kind of want to see it again, because it was, like I said, it's like a thrill ride. It was very fun. And now Pennywise is sort of losing his fear factor, because I see some people on Tumblr that's saying they want to, like, kiss Pennywise or something. It's really weird. Like, people are in love with the creepy clown. That's very strange. Is it just because Bill Skarsgård looks kind of handsome? This movie has already broken, like, so many different box office records. It's broken the September record, the fall record. It's probably going to be one of the highest-grossing horror movies of all time. I'm glad I went to go see it, because originally I was kind of skeptical of whether it was going to be good or not. But then, by the time the third trailer rolled around, I was like, you know, this might actually be interesting and kind of scary. So I'll go see it. And I was not disappointed. I had a lot of fun with it. So if you like sort of like roller coaster type thrillers or horror movies, then I think you'd have a lot of fun with this. So if you have seen It 2017, tell me down in the comments, and I'll see you next time. Bye.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Well, by now we're getting a bit used to winter. We're like soldiers in the middle of a campaign, growing hardened to discomfort and better able to take